Welcome back to Ninja Blade Modern Warfare 3.
While investigating reports of unlawful weapons
This is actually the prologue that is like it's like an info dump explaining the background of this virus. It's actually listed as the prologue in the extras menu, but it happens in between chapters 1 and 2 when you're playing as in a new game, so it's going here.
So, okay, middle of nowhere Africa, rats, military trying to clean it up. They're running the Resident Evil playbook here.
No way, dude. These are vocal cord parasites.
Lingua non frittata, I think, is the word for it.
Oh, sorry. It was hookworms. Excuse me. But yes,
wait, hookworms did all this?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Alpha worms. We saw mention of alpha worms back on that loading screen at the beginning of episode 1.
and triggered a variety of genetic failures. However,
So this is a special type of infection that resulted in everyone who gets infected being super strong instead of destroying the body. Also, this is important for a cutscene coming up later. They, instead of using a nuke, they used an M.O.A.B. This is an important distinction which I think will explain something that'll happen soon. They explained it away as a nuke, but they used a M.O.A.B.
specimens. We quickly assembled a team of some special individuals.
Okay, now have a look at this map, especially when it reaches North America. What the hell? Canada was completely spared.
Even the worms don't want to come to North America, and they're sticking around Texas and Colorado.
I think maybe it struck into like Alberta or something. You never know what those Calgarians get up to with all their hookworms. Canada was I'm in my head canon. Canada was like a safe haven during the hookworm breakout
Pandemic.
So here we go. We got the U.S. president and the Japanese prime minister. This is why I think they changed it to the M.O.A.B. Because otherwise there would be an implication that the U.S. would be willing to nuke Japan again. It's like somebody in the localization team sat back and realized and said, whoa, wait a minute. Part of our plot here is that the U.S.
We might be sending a message here.
Yeah, we might be having a plot where Japan is inviting the United States to nuke them.
Dropping a nuke on Shinjuku is the secret ending to Jet Set Radio Future.
Look, I'm not proud of what we did before.
I'm not proud of what we did before. That line right there. I'm not proud of what we did before. I swore we'd never do it again.
Wow.
That, I think, that line is why they changed the nuke to an M.O.A.B. I have no idea if that was it. I don't know if it was a nuke in the original script, but I think that's why they chose a M.O.A.B. instead of a nuke.
Team in the incident the other night. But we still have Kanogawa.
Oh, thank God we still have Kanogawa.
Who needs nukes or a mother of all bombs? We've got one ninja. We're gonna be fine. Also, by this point in the story, they've already, like, this was like 4 years ago in 2011. They've already contained the outbreak, and it's only in Tokyo now. So there's like this one strain of the virus that showed up in Tokyo.
Honestly, Agent, he's lucky to be alive. The blade came within millimeters of a vital artery. It would take a master swordsman to make that kind of mistake on purpose.
That sounds kind of foreshadowy to me.
You have work to do.
Also, it seems like the president is a ventriloquist in his spare time. That was pretty impressive, sir.
His inner monologue is pretty basic.
I've got to check my Facebook disaster status date. Oh my God, 25% of the city of Tokyo has been infected by the hookworm.
But at least the battery is charged and we have good reception.
Yes, and we have one ninja on our side. That's gonna be great. So first thing we're gonna do here. we are going to customize Ken's costume.
Oh wait, you can dress him up.
Oh yeah, there's tons of outfits. Like just like Armored Core, which had customization options. There's tons of costumes for us, but we're gonna go with we're gonna go with Andy's costume here. We've got to memorialize our fallen friend Andy Walker.
We're giving props to Andy. We're pouring one out for him.
Yeah, not only that, we can also change the emblem on our head. Lots of different emblems here, but of course we're gonna go with Andy, which is a sprite of Andy looking surprisingly
It's great.
Asian in that.
Please tell me this shows up in cutscenes. Wait, don't spoil
Yes, it totally shows up in cutscenes.
it. Yes. Oh,
Also,
yes.
Also, I upgraded some stuff off screen. I upgraded the Oni Slayer sword or something. Also, yeah, I cut out all of the
The load times.
I cut out the load times, not because they're long, but because they just showed up. They just show the same text every time. Also, we have, because Andy's dead, we have a new guy who's helping us out here. He's voiced by John DiMaggio, surprisingly.
Your father's betrayal cloud your mind, all right? This is critical.
Guy's got range.
Committee's agreed to push the sterilization.
So, what's Ken up to? You know, when I'm grieving for my father, what do? You know, I just go and sit and hang out upside down on a helicopter's wing.
I'm Batman.
Days ago, but heat signatures have continued to grow below the ground.
We've evacuated this area, but there's still traffic on the road.
Yeah, and there's well, yeah, they're all self-driving cars.
Oh, perfect.
Also, I don't think they're any car models. They're all UFOs.
Drones.
Actually, no, they're UDOs. They're UDOs. They're all unidentified driving objects. Also, this is now a Dune crossover. That's clearly a sandworm. Are you ready for a shmup?
All right, the spice is gonna flow here, fellas.
Oh yeah. How do you think the hookworms are making their money? It's all in the spice market. Also, this shmup section gets really annoying because you have to manually reload your gun.
Oh.
There's only 80 shots in a clip. You do get missiles, but you have to manually change the ammo type.
I was hoping I wasn't gonna have to take another point off, but there it is.
Thankfully, though, the animation for changing ammo types is much faster than the animation for reloading. It takes about, I think, half the time. So that's a little bit better. Also, it's really weirdly paced. Like there's this long break in the middle between sections. You'll see some other shmup sections which are much better paced, but this one's a bit off. I think there's an achievement for completing this section where the aircraft takes like less than or has less than or more than 50% health. I already got that off screen. Actually, I may be thinking of a different shmup section later on, but anyway,
I forget. Fortunate son, not Andy.
You can see it's much faster to switch to missiles than it is to reload. And I think it automatically reloads the chain gun if you switch to a missile, so it may actually be faster to switch. Alright, so here's our last QTE type in the game, which is the I forget what it's called. What is it? It's another endure, where you just have to mash a certain button X number of times as opposed to mashing for a certain amount of time.
They've at least got a little bit of variety in it.
He who controls the spice controls the metropolis. That's the only Dune reference I know. I'm sorry. I ruined it. I ruined the whole recording. I'm sorry.
You must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
There, finally. I'm glad I've got someone who knows what they're talking about. Anyway, we've got another boss fight coming up after this one combat section here. So yeah, we upgraded the grabbed the Audi Slayer sword, upgraded it off screen. It does a little more damage. It also has some extra moves. There's a launcher which doesn't really do much because you have to press the ranged attack button twice in order to launch. There's no, it's not like the lock on backwards Y thing like in Devil May Cry, or it's not even like in the DMC reboot where there was a dedicated launch button. It's the second part of a combo, where it's weird. I wish they had done it more like God of War, where you had different options where you could either make it as part of a combo or at the very start. But here it's only part of it can only be done in mid combo, which makes it feel a little stickier than it should be. So now we're gonna be fighting the sandworm, but the way that it's presented here, it makes it feel a lot more like that electric worm in Ninja Gaiden that you fight in the aqueduct.
Sorry, Chief. I gotta deal with something real quick.
Actually, yeah, that's the leech. You remember who I'm talking about, right?
Kind of.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, this is the Impaler Leech. So stealth, Ninja Vision also has a couple of things. You can sort of see stealthy or invisible attacks. You can kind of see a little blur for those attacks, and if you use Ninja Vision, you can see exactly where they are. Those stealth attacks do a lot of damage. And of course, the other trade-off is that in Ninja Vision, you deal more damage and also take more damage. So if you fail to dodge those attacks while you're in Ninja Vision, you take a lot of damage, even on normal. So one other thing I should note about, so I mentioned in the previous episode that the QTEs are randomized when you're on hard, but for those extra QTEs when you're dodging, oh yeah, I'm using first aid spray here. Those QTEs when you're dodging, they only randomize what direction you have to dodge. It's not like you're suddenly gonna have to do face inputs for that. So in certain, like on normal, you would always have to dodge left or right, depending on where it's going. But on hard, it will randomize what direction you're going.
So hard but fair.
Yeah, same thing with the face button presses. Like on hard, it will randomize what face button you have to press. It won't switch it up with a direction input instead. Although I won't agree with you entirely on the hard but fair, because I've yet to play combat on hard. So I'll agree that the QTEs are hard but fair, but I'm not entirely sure about everything else. So I'm just gonna go back here and pick up some XP before I start the Totobe. Ken's just having way too much fun with this. You know, I mean, it was okay before when, you know, you kind of had the outbreak under control, but now your dad and your asshole accomplice have, you know, betrayed you. You'd think you'd take this a little more seriously, dude. Oh no, it's the Skolex worm. We have to run from him.
Remember, it's not blatant copying, it's just an homage.
Yeah, I don't even think they changed the skybox for this part. I think it's the same as in the last mission.
Now that you mention it, it might legitimately be the same map.
Yeah. Also, yeah, you could use Ninja Vision during this section. No reason to, but it looks nice. It would also explain the longer than usual load time, because they would have to load that previous skybox. Actually, no, I think it's a different skybox, because it goes back to that QTE. I really love how hilarious the sprites are, especially because the sprite work doesn't always mesh well with the cloth physics on his outfit. so here we are. We have the next boss fight against the Scolex Worm. This boss fight has multiple floors, but generally speaking, you just want to wait. Also, this is where I introduce the main gimmick with the Stone Render for breaking it. As you normally, it takes a while for the combo to go in. However, you can use the block to cancel any attack from any weapon, and that includes the Stone Render, which makes the Stone Render a lot more viable for attacks than it really should be. So we're going to use it to get rid of the Scolex Worm really fast.
And now we start cheesing bosses.
Yes. Especially the waiting bosses. I have no mercy against them. At least when they're not staggering me. I mean, look at this. Look at this DPS.
Ooh.
So yeah, generally for the Scolex Worm, you want to stay on like the lower two floors, because if you try to move up to the top floor, that's generally only meant for the Toteme when that appears. If you try to go to the top floor early, then the Scolex will have unblockable attacks up there. I mean, even that dive attack, if you stay on that platform up there, it is unblockable and undodgeable if you're on that platform. You're expected to like dive down and sort of bait him out there. And also, yeah, he also has those stealth attacks there. He has the Z attacks. You sort of see like it's kind of it's kind of distorted. You can see those attacks without ninja vision, but it's a little easier to see them with it. There are other bosses who are very susceptible to the cheesing with the Stone Render as well. Especially one boss in Mission 3.
Oh, he's gonna throw fire.
And cars. This section in particular reminds me so much of the Iblis fights from Sonic 06.
Oh, no.
I think it's just because he's a worm because of that, and because it's cars and flaming cars in particular. Now that he's stunned and under Toteme, in the Toteme stun, I guess, now it's safe to go up to the main floors. Or to the top floors, I should say. We're recording episode 1 and 2 back to back. I'm losing track of my words. And I almost lose this Toteme. I came really close.
This is ridiculous.
It's amazing.
It is. It really is.
I'm really getting the chance to actually appreciate how insane these QTEs are now that I'm not playing it. I mean, reviewers at the time absolutely hated these QTEs. Okay, also pay attention. Bottom left corner. See the name? Oh, did you miss it?
I may have.
Okay, you'll see it again later. So this game is a crossover with another From Software game. I mentioned it to you earlier, but it establishes who this agent is that's helping us. Keep an eye out after this QTE, and now I'll explain the reference to the good folks at home once you've had the time to process it. Here we go. It should be coming up right about now. After this. Oh, after this slime helicopter. Yes, it's infecting helicopters now. Also, here we go. There we go.
Michael Wilson?
Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, Michael Wilson is the protagonist of another From Software game, Metal Wolf Chaos, in which he is the President of the United States defending America in a mech. At this point, this is an unofficial prequel to Metal Wolf Chaos, only in the sense that what Michael Wilson is in it. It's never established like officially in this game, but the president that we saw earlier is his father. It's sort of a Bush situation where Wilson the first was president, and then Michael Wilson became president later. At this point in his career, Michael Wilson is a CIA agent who is helping guide, which is the name of the bioterrorism, the bioterrorism group who is fighting the hookworm virus. So there you go. Michael Wilson is our buddy.
Michael Wilson is this game's Jack Ryan.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you know, it makes sense. I mean, you know, the Ninja Code is kind of believing in your own justice. Anyway, we're gonna go here, but don't go up there. We're gonna go over here because there's another Shinji Moji over here. Sorry, excuse me, a Shinobi Moji. I was thinking of my animes again. It's a Shinobi Moji, not Shinji Moji. So we're gonna grab one Shinobi Moji in every mission. That's gonna get us another something. That's another reference to From Software games, incidentally. And now we've got ourselves a helicopter, an entire helicopter that's been infected by a hookworm virus somehow. But first we have another awful minigame here where we got to deflect these projectiles, which is really bad. We just gotta wait. We'll be using the deflection stuff later on. Yeah, I just fast forwarded through this because it's so tedious.
Those barrels look like they hold some volatile stuff.
Yeah, you would probably be best to follow your own advice later on, Michael. Just saying. Yeah, and I realized for a minute there, you're supposed to use Ninja Vision to determine which guys have armor, even though they have massive armor shields.
It's pretty obvious.
It is kind of hard to distinguish when you're playing because it kind of meshes in with the background, especially because most of the missions take place at night. So, yeah, we're gonna fight the slime chopper. There's also a, I think it's a, what is this? An adrenaline? Yeah, it's a first aid spray over here. And so this slime chopper fires missiles, and we're gonna use our newly acquired reflection abilities to both blow ourselves up and the chopper. So yeah, I just cut out the first aid spray use there. And Chopper is waiting for us over here, so might as well follow him. And yes, you can still deflect missiles even in the middle of a combo, which is pretty nice. And I try to sort of mix up my strategy here a little bit with the slime chopper. Try to take a hit on. Also, you can deflect bullets with the right timing. But it's really hard to do, and it's very easy to
Oh,
get
we
stun
Metal
locked
Gear
if you fail.
Rising now.
Also, it's really easy to get stun locked if you fail. Also, this game has guard block. Or sorry, guard break, excuse me. Which is really bad when you're going against the chain gun. So
Oh yeah, that'll
basically
eat you alive.
basically the only really viable strategy against the minigun on choppers is to dodge. Because if you guard, you'll get guard broken pretty instantly. Because it's not about HP. It's about how many hits you've guarded against. So, yeah, miniguns will destroy your guard pretty quickly. So here I'm trying to cheese it with the Stone Render. Not as successful as a boss later on in episode 3, but, you know, I give it the old college try. Also, I like how it has little, like, tentacle arms. Like wavy tail arms. It looks like if it didn't have the helicopter build, I could see those tentacles, those wavy cute tentacles on like a Monsters Inc. character or something.
It looks like Slimer ate a helicopter.
Or piloting one. How do you know Slimer isn't the pilot?
I
You
hear
don't
he's
see the pilot.
certified. I mean, I don't know if he's got enough hours logged to fly at night, clearly, but...
Well, that's the twist. He's actually a certified motorcycle pilot. And he talked his way into a chopper, and now look, he's dead he's about to get destroyed in a toteme. Now, I don't want to spoil this for you, but unfortunately, to the best of my knowledge, Richard Hawke is not in this game. But you got Michael Wilson, though. So that's something. It's, I think metal... Oh, here we go. Here we go.
All right, missile surfing.
I knew this was in it, but I thought this was later, so I was not expecting this. This is just... I kind of wish they made this playable, actually. Like, they could just recycle the other running up a building part, running down a building part, and just make it like you're on a missile. And oh, that's great.
So, Capcom was nice enough to furnish us with an early copy of Devil May Cry 5.
Yes.
I only regret I can't take points for it ripping off a game before the game is released.
And only 1 year after Devil May Cry 4 was released, too. That's pretty impressive. So, here we go. It's been a while since we got a new weapon. Now, look at the sprite on his chest. The sprite of Andy is just... It's like great 2009 cloth physics. At least, like, the emblem kind of looks good. But yeah, reviewers at the time absolutely hated the QuickTime events. Like, they... Probably because they got kind of overused. But I kind of like them. It's so over the top. Also, I have no idea why that animation happened. I've never seen it before, so...
When you said there were a lot of QTs, I was not expecting them to be this well done.
Yeah, they're also pretty extensive. I feel like there are sections that could have been playable, and they decided rather than make it cut content, they're just gonna, make it QTs. So, every shuriken has a different throwing arc when you use it, when you use its charge attack. So this one is more like a mortar, whereas the other one was a straight throw. Also, yeah, I completely screwed that one up. And also this one just throws kind of like throwing grenades in Metal Gear Rising. It's just like a straight arc to tap it like that. And that one's a very short AoE, as opposed to with the Cyclone Shuriken, which is just a that was just sort of circling around. Also, yeah, I tried to deflect that, but I was still in the middle of the flourish animation and I couldn't. When you're trying to lob the... I just call it a Molotov. When you're using the fire shuriken, it's very picky about what direction you throw it. You have to be... Ken has to be facing the right direction. Even if the stick is tilted in the direction you want to go, if Ken isn't in that direction, he won't throw it that way. He'll throw it in the way Ken is facing. Like there, I had the stick tilted towards that other enemy, but because Ken wasn't facing him, didn't work.
I gotcha. So you can't hook shot it or swag shot it or...
You do, but you have to wait a little longer until Ken is facing the right way. It just takes a little longer. Now it's teaching you about switching between them. You use the right bumper to switch between the shuriken types. And now there are only 2 weapons left. There's actually 3. There's the unlockable weapon that we're going to be getting from all the shinobi emojis. And then there's... Oh yeah, we're going to get another cheap piece as well. And then there's... But yeah, there's the 3 main melee weapons plus the 4th unlockable. And then there's 4 shuriken types. Also, I did not cut anything there. That was the natural level transition. The game does it... Thankfully, the game only does that maybe 3 or 4 times. But it's always so jarring when it happens.
It's just you're magically somewhere else.
I the first time I played this, I thought I'd accidentally skipped a cutscene or something, but no, it happens. I went into that, deliberately made sure I didn't press any buttons or anything, but nope, it just does that. There was probably miscommunication with the with the level designers and the map artists. Just couldn't get this fight to work somehow. Also, that was the start of a checkpoint. Maybe they couldn't find a natural transition point for it. Well, that was a satisfying fight. Here's another one of those stone render doors. Now, this room introduces another gimmick for the fire, the fire shuriken, which I'm not a big fan of. We'll be seeing it in a second here. So you see that plant over there? That's a plant. Plants don't like fire, but also those boxes have really wide hit detection. So we're going to be setting fire to that plant soon enough, and that's going to allow us to see in this very dark room. And there are like 2 or 3 maps in a row that have this really stupid gimmick of, you know, having a single plant that is on fire. Also, these ant, I think they're wasp or ant enemies, lion ant enemies. I think they explode when you kill them.
It certainly is giving you a wide variety of bugs and mutated weird stuff.
Yes, definitely. I wonder if those bugs were also human at one point. Anyway, we're going to go over here, and we're going to find another costume over here. So despite the huge amount of costumes that you get, there are still more unlockable costumes and emblems to get. So we're going to get Pine and Crane. That's fun. So over there is the exit, where we just sent those missiles back at them. This room, for some reason, I got stuck in it for a long time when I first played this game. I don't know why, but thankfully this is not my blind recording that you're seeing. Otherwise, this area would take like 30 minutes. I'm not sure why I got stuck in this room. It's just not... I don't know. Just something about it. Something about this room wasn't... it wasn't directed me the right way, I guess.
I almost thought that was going to be a physics puzzle.
Oh, yeah. It looks like it, but no. We are, however, encountering another stone render door here. Also, you can kind of see the outline of the part of the door that's stuck in there when you do the QTE there. Which I think that's supposed to be a camera thing that they forgot to take out for that QTE. Also, this map is terrible. I'm going to speed it up for the most part, but you'll get a good sense of how bad it is, even from when it's sped up. So you have to deflect all of these enemies here, and run around here, and put out all the fires, and yeah, this map is not fun. I have no idea why they decided to do it like this.
It wouldn't be so bad if there wasn't such a clusterfuck of a crossfire.
Yeah, I think if there was no fire here, this would have been better. Also, oh no, I can't see anything without the fire. Gotta put the fire back on. Missed. Put it back there again. That part was my fault, though.
I'll give him that the fire providing light was clever.
Yeah, that was actually kind of fun. Oh, I sense another boss. Well, after this part, anyway. Also, I was kind of confused here because there was an extra cutscene that triggered right as I was doing that finishing move. So I messed up that QTE. Oh yeah, that's a launcher, by the way. After you press Y twice. And there are different launchers depending on... There are also some launcher move. There are there's 2 different combo sets depending on whether you decide to jump alongside an enemy in the air or not. Which is, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that. Like, I figured that because there's entirely different combos for enemy in air versus enemy and player in air. And those combos are different from both enemy and player on ground. Also, I forgot that you don't have to jump up here. There's actually a wall running panel that you can use over there.
Aha!
I thought they were going to be cruel enough to do a physics puzzle. So this is a great instance of the power of the canceled stone render. Block canceling also has some other great uses. And oh no, this looks like a rejected monster from a like a dark and edgy Beyond Good and Evil reboot or something.
A little bit.
Like this looks
You
way
fought,
too. Yeah.
You fought the big worm, the really big worm, and the monstrously big worm in this level now.
This one has a mace for a tongue. And that's spoilers. That's actually its weak point that we'll be fighting in just a minute here.
Oh, Ripley would be proud.
Oh, sorry. I accidentally used the fire shuriken there because I was pressing B for some reason, just thinking that I could, I don't know, cancel something, or I don't know. But anyway. Also, I do like that gong sound effect that plays whenever a broken box produces an item. That is nice. Okay, here we go. Here's the Plague Snail. He also does the Iblis thing of throwing fiery cars. And he has the invisible attacks as well. But here's his mace tongue that I was talking about. Just go into. He is also very susceptible to the stone render canceling, though I forget to use it for the first part of it at least. And much like the other waiting bosses, as I call them, all of his phases here are random. I haven't quite found a way to manipulate it.
Do you fear he ate the cars, or there's an end we're not seeing where he's picking up the cars?
Probably a bit of both. He's just picking up the cars in his mouth off screen. And then just belching them out. That's a really bad indigestion there.
Well, I mean, I'd have it too if I ate a Buick.
Yeah, see, that's there. See, there's the Buick exhaust. So there we go. Now I finally remember that I have stone render canceling after like 3 or 4 phases of this crap. Oh, hey, look! 2 Skull X worms. How fun. These guys are just here to distract you. If you attack the Skull X worms, it doesn't actually bring down HP. Also, check out this amazing frame rate!
Oh!
This is in-game. This is not... I know I've been having computer issues recently, but this is how it actually looks in-game. That was not my computer. I'm pretty sure that was like 4 or 5 frames per second. Also, as you'll see here, even if you don't have Ninja Vision, like when you do have Ninja Vision, it's bad, but it's also, even without Ninja Vision, it's still this bad. What is that? Is that like 6 or 7 FPS, something like that? This is like trying to play Half-Life 2 on a 2004 computer bad.
Ooh.
that is magical.
Ninja Blade, what are you doing to my Xbox?
This game, I did mention this game has a PC for it. I hope they at least fix that.
I'd be kind of curious.
I think that don't quote me on this, but I think the PC port came out in 2011. I don't know for sure. I'm gonna have to look that up. So it removed one platform. See that one platform on the left there, which I used to be able to go on. Now I can't. See, it's variety. It adds difficulty and finesse to the boss fight. He says as he absolutely destroys the boss and then gets destroyed twice. But yeah, Ninja Vision really helps, both because it slows down time and because it increases damage output. I think it has I think it has something to do with the Skullix worms destroying those platforms. Something I hadn't considered until now, but just looking back on it, because you can see that the glass panels there have damage on them. And I think it's when the Skullix worms actually dive down to attack it. And I think it's like they attack it 2 or 3 times, then the panel gets destroyed. But it doesn't excuse the first half of the fight, where it's just the Plague Snail. So yeah, we were talking about animation cycles. It's the Plague Snail still has to go through this extra attack before the Toname becomes available. Like even then, it had to slowly move over to the left there. God, I love / hate that like lamb gut sound effect so much for the XP. It's like someone thought, yeah, the red orbs in Devil May Cry are blood, but why don't they sound like blood? We gotta fix that. We're Ninja Blade. Come on, let's just make an entire game out of this. Okay, here we go. Speaking of Devil May Cry 5 foreshadowing. Let's just face it, DMC5 is a total ripoff of Ninja Blade.
Only if he cuts the bike in half and punches the worm with it.
Oh, he bites.
Okay, you slimy bastard. Pucker up.
Alright, Devil May Cry ripped him off.
Nope. He put a shuriken into the exhaust pipe there. Oh, there we go. Ninja Blade, ladies and gentlemen. The second boss.
They're not pulling out many stops here.
Yeah, this game does not let up ever.
Plague Snail gone.
Yep. As well as like about half the buildings in Tokyo.
All right, let's see how you did.
Yeah, B+, not bad. So, yeah, I was talking about the QTE success rate. Your score gets decreased when you fail a QTE, and it increases depending on whether you get a good, great, excellent, or perfect QTE input. So, yeah, that's how that works. Again, it only matters for your score. So we got an evil emblem.
Evil.
Yeah, the score only matters for the leaderboards, which may not even be up anymore. So, oh, hold on, we got a Facebook emergency update. Well, that was productive. We increased the infection rate.
Oh no.
Well, I'm sure that next time it'll be better. Can't possibly get any worse.
I sure hope so.